Hello and welcome back to Optimistic Wargaming. This is episode 2 of our series where I go through all of my projects I've gone through in the past week. So, as you can see, this week's Optimistic project is some Age of Sigmar terrain, specifically the terrain that you get from the Warcry environment set that you can buy on the Games Workshop website. The terrain you see here is from 2 sets. And isn't too difficult to build with stuff like these little bridges here and these temples being entirely one piece, and all of it is quite interchangeable with little issue. So this is a view of the table, which is quite well zoomed out at the moment, but as you can see, it quite handily, pretty much fills this entire 22 by 30 inch board, which itself sits quite nicely on a little, this is a camping table I want to say, I can't remember where we got it from, but yeah. And yeah, as you can see, there's some really, really nice details on these, really good quality sculpts. So this terrain was painted, all pretty much using the same techniques. So this stone-like structure, this was painted using Ironarch skin as a dry brush, then Agaric Surfshade followed by a dry brush of Tyrant Skull, a lighter dry brush for the second one, which gets this really nice, quick stone, sort of like sandstone, I want to say, effect. I'm really a huge fan of it, and then you get all these little details of the writing and stuff. So this is all really quick to do. I mean, bits like this take quite a while to paint, but very quick considering the size of it. This sort of jade material, that was painted by using Cabalite Green, that was it, Cabalite Green twice, and then, 2 thin coats, and then highlighting it with Warpstone Green, which is that effect there. You might be able to get a better view with, let's go with this head of Sigmar, there we go. All these little grey rocks, they're just Mechanica Standard Grey with some Agrax over it. Silver's old lead belcher, and then I'll put up some pictures of these big sort of temple things. You can have a look at them better. But these were they were painted the same technique. There's a little bit of gold on this one, which I painted using just Retributor Armor and Reichland Flesh Shade. Then we've got these little flame effects, these little braziers. They are Corax White, Uriel Yellow and then blend that up to orange, and then blend that up, Trollslayer Orange, I want to say, and then blended that up to Mephiston Red. So I just want to reiterate that some of this is from different sets. So this is about 1.5 sets, which fully covers the terrain, but so all of this stuff here, all of this, sort of the main temple way up, these bridges, and these statues, these are all from the what was it called? It was from the Shattered Stormbolt set, that was it. And then the rest of this stuff is the Soldrain Forest random rubble that you get about. So you still get some additional trees of this. There isn't one of these that you get, but I ran out of paint, which was unfortunate. And as you can see, you get so much, and it's really customizable. You can remove these and just have this be a temple without any pillars. You can just leave the pillars about. Really, really useful terrain. So here's an example of some models on the terrain to give you a bit of sense of scale. There's some Mantis Warrior Space Marines there, we've got Inquisitor Cotiers there on this sort of thing next to these 2 giant statues. We've got another Space Marine there, some more over there. And this Space Marine, the Space Marines, ignore the Inquisitor for the purposes of this example, but this is my Space Marine kill team that I use. So when you think about how kill team is meant to be on these size boards, you can see how you've got quite a bit of room. Camera had a bit of an issue zooming out there for a moment. Yeah, so as you can see, there's quite a lot of room for maneuverability and stuff like that as I knock over a statue like an idiot. Yeah, there's this terrain, you can fill a bunch of stuff with it. So one thing I want to touch on very quickly about this, about these sets, is these cards that are produced in the Warcry game. Now, these are designed as this is part of the Warcry game where you generate a map for your games, And it's something that I really think that they really should do for stuff like Kill Team and Necromunda, because these products are really useful, and I don't understand why they haven't produced any of these for their other systems that use these kinds of boards. I think they would make so much money if they'd sold a Kill Team version, you know, not like the starter sets where you get, you get the terrain and all that stuff, but you have to buy the armies, and then these little card setups are great for these quick narrative things. The only issue with them is that, well, so you get this quite chunky deck. I can't quite remember how many cards are in this deck. I'll put a number up when I add them up, and I'll put that up in editing. But the issue with these cards is that they're great. There's all these different, terrain setups that are absolutely brilliant. You got all these different narratives. You got, really, really bad ones, by which I mean very little terrain. Then you got ones like that are really nice. You've got all these different ones. I've got personal favourite ones somewhere. I think it's that one. I really like that one. That one's a good one. But different ways to set up the terrain. That's one of my favourite ones. That's it. And then, if you want to, you can chuck in some scat terrain and stuff. That'd be really good for normal games or just even Kill Team. But what's funny is if I just go through all of these. So we get to this point. Now, you may notice that I don't have that bit there. I don't have some of these. That there. I don't have it. That's because all of these are including terrain that's in the Warcry start set that's no longer available. Now, it's not a huge issue because, well, it's about a third of the deck are full of these cards. But it's such a weird moment when, you open the box and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have, in this case, the giant head of Sigmar. There it is. So, I really like this product. I really like this concept of it. But it's a bit of a shame that they put then products that are from a set that's no longer really available. I mean, you can get the terrain individually, but you can't get the starts anymore, which is another gripe. That's for another day. Yeah, because, I mean, look how cool that is. I really do like these cards. Yeah, I really wish they did these for other products. It's a real shame, I suppose. It's a real shame. Anyway, I'll be back with what I plan to get done next week. So, what's for next week? Next week I plan to get more terrain done, because I'm boring. No, as you know, as I mentioned last episode, I like dense terrain. More terrain the better. And, some thematic terrain is also very useful. So, I'm deciding to paint up some 40k terrain again instead of some Sigmar terrain this time. More specifically, the Wall of Martyrs set that I believe you can still buy. I know some things from that, when that was released, have gone away, but I don't think this was. I think it was just the big bunkers. I think those were gone. Cotier's once again there, looking as dramatic as he can, being a resin model. But, yeah, that's next week's plan. Hopefully I'll get some of that done. Maybe some actual models that aren't, terrain done. But then again, I burnt myself out on models initially by painting 30 Skitarii, so we'll see. Alright, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, remember, stay optimistic, and most importantly, stay safe. Bye for now.